All right. Hey.
What up?
Welcome to episode 12 of the Collectin and Connectin Podcast. We are a part of a good vibes, top shot community, and we got the usual crew here. Treaticus, what's up, man?
How are you?
King
I'm a Mavs fan.
Yo. I see you with the Mavs shirt.
Mavs shirt, Treaticus. I love it.
Thank you.
That's got to be new. I like to see that. King Brett, yo, what's up, man? That's got to be from you, that gift.
Yep. It may or may not have been for me.
It is.
And doctor everyone in Mavs. So
very nice. Well, this week I won't keep him waiting any more longer. We have a very special guest, Playback Professional, C&C Member, Cav super fan, Rockdawgy. What's up, my man?
What's up, fellas? It's good to be here. I want to thank you all for having me on. I love the C&C vibe. Love everything you guys have been doing in connection with hoops and Top Shot and just kicking it kind of with the homies. So I'm excited to be here. And King Brett, I got to say, that's a hell of a gift.
Oh,
that's a nice shirt.
It was. It's actually from a game. So it's a given out to special people that attended Mavs games. And forward thinking, Treaticus got to get down for a Mavs game this year.
That's right.
If you had put it on for just a second, does that count as a game worn?
I believe so. I do
like
believe
that.
so.
Well, only Fish fans will understand my shirt, but that's fine.
I got it. That's why I even put on this pink hat to match the mic.
Very cool.
Shirt.
I love
the PH. I love the pink, the cherry blossom hat, King Brett. Loving it, repping the Wizard. So that's funny just because you're messing with Treaticus about adding a third team to his fandom with the Grizzlies and the Celtics. Now he's going to be a Mavs homer with us.
That's right.
Undrafted rookies too. That's all I'm saying.
Rockdawgy, you're definitely a monster Cavs fan, but turns out you're also a Hornets fan. And Charlotte, it's funny with the Top Shot and NBA in general, how now that we're connecting and collecting and making friends, we're cheering for all kinds of teams. I love us diversifying our fandom.
It's fantastic. And to be honest, I've told my story, but I haven't been podcasting too much or been, involved as much as I used to be. Mm-hmm. But Top Shot for me came at a really, really important time because, people that know me know that I have Crohn's disease and I have multiple sclerosis. And I had just had a surgery. It was pretty major. And I was working and it just wasn't working out anymore. It was kind of obvious. My doc's you can't. I was teaching for 20 years. And so I decided to apply for disability, which I got, which was somewhat odd, but also validating in a sense.
Right.
Because, as a hard worker, you question yourself. Am I just kind of, pussing out here or is this real? Do I really feel everyone's tired, right? People talk, especially in teaching, everyone's tired all the time.
Oh man.
And so when I'm saying I'm really tired though.
Yeah.
So gotten the disability, but in the sense of something that I did every day for 20 years, get up, go to work. I'm a talker. I like to talk to people. I feed off other people's energy. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden to just wake up to just nothing.
Yeah.
It's just so quiet. I got nothing to do. All my friends are at work, so there's no one really to talk to.
That's right.
So I went on Twitter, and I was just messing around on Twitter. I'm a big DFS guy.
It's on.
DFS.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I don't. It's X. It's X. I was going on X. Right?
That's right. Wake up and get on X.
Not Julius Randle. Wake up and get on X.
And so I'm a big DFS guy, and I follow Osimo, Alex Baker.
Yeah.
Great. And he tweeted out or X'd out one day. I don't even know what you call it anymore.
I know, it's so weird.
Yeah. That he said, he actually, what he said exactly was making money on Top Shot is easier than DFS. And I was like, what's that? I thought it was another fantasy game.
Yeah.
And so I checked it out. And at that point,
hardcore.
It was at that point for Top Shot, you had to actually sign up and then wait to get an account. It was
right.
different time. Were you guys in Top Shot back then?
February 2021. There was an approval period that I feel like we had to wait to get approved for the beta.
It took me like 2 weeks to even figure out how to set up an account, to be honest.
It feels like forever ago, but now that you say it, yeah, that definitely happened.
So I did originally jump into Top Shot because I thought like, well, Alex Baker's a smart guy. Awesome. Let's see if I can make some money. But then what happened was just so much better because like at a time when I like really needed something in a community, people use the community word all the time, but I needed something and Top Shot was like right there for me. And then, next thing I know, I said like, let me try like, I was watching, a lot of people were streaming Top Shot then, like nightly, there were so many, the Pseudo Sisters and Trill and Vinyls and there was just so many. And so I was watching a lot of these streams and sorry about that.
So and a great band name. You just mentioned the three of those.
What's that?
So they sounded like a great band name versus streamers.
Right. And so then I thought, like, let me try my hat at doing this. And so started doing a little stream and met the infamous Torque Penderloin.
Torque!
Through those early stages. And now it's just like
you guys how y'all met because y'all are boys. He definitely vouches for Rockdawgy.
Torque is my guy. If there's one like super friend that I've made in this space, it's Torque, the great Andrew Pate. He is my dude. Man, I don't even know how we actually met. I can't even remember. I think it was just probably on a DM. We started this group a long time ago on Twitter. It was just called The Gang, and it was me and Torque and Chewy and Dream and
shout out
Jimbo. I don't know if you guys know Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo.
Name dropping. I love it.
Yeah.
Celebrities is what you're saying.
It was just like a few of us. This is before any, this was before Top Shot Kingdom, before any of this, when we were just like fumbling around in Top Shot and we all realized that we actually liked hoops.
Yeah.
Instead of just
that's when the trouble. That's when the trouble happens.
See, here's the deal. Just to explain me, Treaticus, and King Brett here.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've been, with you on this journey, but when we got into Top Shot, we didn't know about anything about NFTs, digital collectibles, but we sure didn't know about Twitch and streaming and like that type of stuff. We're old timers, I guess, and we
boomers,
and just late to that party. So we were learning on the fly, and then you find out that there's content everywhere and that people are putting stuff out regularly, and we were able to learn and find stuff through people like you that were putting out content. So really cool to hear your origination story and how you kind of started putting that out. Yeah,
I mean, my first streams, I had no clue what I was doing. I think my first 4 streams started with my guest going, "You're on mute, dude." So yeah, you just fumble your way, and then I like the fact that we're all here to support each other as well.
That's right.
So it's just all about showing the love and supporting each other, and the vibe is so much better now than it was.
Yeah.
On Top Shot, I just love the fact that it's mostly NBA fans now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I remember when I think it was S3, I said to myself, I think they're intentionally tanking the values because they have to, because you can't sustain what the prices, what they were. When I first got in, like I just wanted a LeBron James.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a LeBron James for under $200. I mean, it was, and that was like one of them. And then the rest were in the, it's like, And so they were just kind of not catering. I don't think they meant to do it. But now that you can't get a pack today and profit $500 tomorrow anymore, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Now the true basketball fans are coming, and the ones who have stayed through it, like us, are the true fans. We're not the ones who, wanted to take our money and get it into the next get rich quick scheme or whatever.
It grew too fast, too quick, and we all knew it. I mean, we didn't know it in the time, but we all joined at the same around the same times because we all found out the same time Alex Baker did. You mentioned DFS, but you also mentioned the key word there, LeBron. I know you're a monster Cavs fan. You got to be a LeBron stan. Talk to me about him. What was that like in Cleveland, having him as a part of your team twice?
Man, okay, so LeBron is my favorite athlete of all time, as you can tell behind me.
Yep.
That's a good call.
I love LeBron for so many reasons. Number one, he's the best basketball player I've ever seen in my life. And
oh yeah, sure.
I've seen, I watch every Cavs game, or I try to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've watched 11 years of LeBron, and I'm not going to say I watched every single game he played in, but I've watched the guy a lot, and I've just never seen anyone, people. I actually put out a tweet the other day talking about how I need to put out a LeBron appreciation tweet.
By the way, I've been waiting for it because you said I've been seeing a lot of negative stuff lately, and I'm gonna soon be on the lookout. And I've been looking. I'm just saying.
I've got. I think I might have some of it right here. Okay, so
pull out a binder.
Look,
notes.
I'll just show you. Here's some of my notes.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, it's like 3 ball.
Bring it.
Zoom in, folks. Yeah.
That's
screenshot. Golden tickets in there.
Because I feel like, and especially in our Twitter circles, X circles, there's a lot of people that know LeBron since the start of Top Shot. In other words, they know LeBron on the Lakers, and that's pretty much what they know of LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, the guy averaged almost 30 points a game last year, which is ridiculous, but he's a shell of what he used to be. And I'm not saying he's bad, because he's one of the top
LeBron
15 players in the league still.
Better than most players on a good.
But he's not as great as he was, and I feel like people don't even really realize how great he was. They just kind of get sucked into these stereotypes, I guess. That's the wrong word, but that LeBron's a flopper, or that he's not tough, or that he doesn't play defense, or he doesn't hustle. Right. And I hear these things, and it just drives me crazy. I'll give you just a couple little LeBron stats that I pulled out here.
It's people, Rockdawgy, that didn't see, the 03 Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons when he basically beat them himself, Rip Hamilton. And
he scored, it's an NBA record. He scored the last 25 points in a row in that game. In the overtime game against the
Sorry,
Pistons.
I stole the thunder. Yeah, dude. Oh, my God.
That was on.
In the NBA.
I watched that.
He scored 29 of the last 30, including another thing. Another awful stereotype of LeBron is that he's not clutch. He hit the game winner in that game.
It was unreal,
unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
I've never seen
it not set up
anything like that. And that game ended a little mini Pistons dynasty. They were, that was the Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace.
Everybody thought they were going to do it. That it was.
They were a really good team, and
they were.
After that game, that was the end of them. They were just they never came back.
We were able to talk to Austin Kent about that game and that matchup, and how he just thought, and like most, like you're saying, most of America and the world thought that Pistons were getting it done. They were the clear favorites, and LeBron just said, "No, I got this." Yeah. What did you say? The last how many points?
25. Wow. He scored the last 25 points and 28 of the last 29, including the game winner.
That was unreal.
Mike Tirico called it Jordan-esque at the time.
But he's better than Jordan.
We were doing that a lot back then, man. He was so young, right out of high school, when he's on the cover of magazines, and everybody's just telling he's the next Jordan, dude. They set him up for failure, and he did not let anyone down.
That's the thing. You've seen it 1,000 times. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was a junior in high school, and it said "The Chosen One."
Yeah.
And
he landed early.
He delivered, and then some.
I get nervous sweats and anxiety when I think about that cover, because I was student teaching at the time in Cleveland, and the coach of the middle school that I was working at had a relationship with LeBron. LeBron was in high school at the time.
Wow.
And he told me that he's going to take a couple of those Sports Illustrateds to LeBron, and LeBron is going to sign them with like this special gold pen and get the authentication, whatever the word is, and all that.
You nailed it.
You just got to bring me the Sports Illustrated. Bring me the SI by Friday. And I forgot.
Damn.
I just forgot. I showed up that Friday. He's like, "You got it?" And I was like, "Oh, no." And he got all the rest of them signed, and I missed it.
Damn.
Now, I will say, when he left Cleveland the first time, and he went to Miami,
that hurt you, didn't it?
It was heartbreaking. I mean, it was, as a sports fan, Cleveland fan, huge LeBron fan,
sure,
living in Cleveland at the time, it was heartbreaking. Actually, no, I was here in Charlotte at the time. I have a LeBron jersey to this day that the very bottom of it is just a big, like, round, hard black piece of the jersey. And the reason why is I took the jersey outside of my driveway and I held it up. I grabbed a lighter and I started to burn the jersey. I know. Initial reaction.
Yes. Passion. Fandom.
My wife ran out and she said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Now, here's the thing about those vinyl jerseys. Have you ever seen someone burn them like on TV? They always pour some sort of gasoline on them.
Yeah.
They don't actually burn.
Yeah,
it just smokes and turns. So like it never, I'm trying to light this. It wouldn't even light. It was almost like a sign that like, don't worry. And then the day he announced he was coming back, I was just so happy. And then he delivered a title. And, you know, for those that aren't, you know, didn't grow up around Cleveland or don't know Cleveland history, we haven't had a major sports title since 1964. And that counts Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Indians, Guardians, and the Cavs.
Yeah.
So people my age, and I'm 46, had never seen a title in our life.
Whoa.
And so that was like
22, by the way. You look like a male model. I'm just throwing that out. Clean shaven face, the beauty, like just.
Well, they say it's how old you feel, right? And I feel like I'm 75. So
but you, so you were early LeBron lover. I appreciate that. I don't understand how people can't respect everything the guy's done as a player. And then he's in my mind, he's taken that whole business side of it to a whole nother level that he's just building on. And he appreciates what Magic and Jordan, you know, handed off to him. I don't get the LeBron hate.
I don't either. He's a true student of the game. He knows the history. He respects the history of the game. Has he made some mistakes? Of course. But like, who
had
right? Yeah. Who hasn't? For the amount, like you were saying earlier, for the amount of pressure that was put on him since he was 15 years old, and then for it to all like work out. You know, he was in foster care when he was a kid. You know, his life could have turned out many different ways. Mm-hmm. And then one thing that is so underrated is the philanthropic side. Is that how you say it? Philanthropic?
Yep, nailed it.
His philanthropy is really amazing. The I Promise School in Akron, which of course they reported that they had some low test scores last year, but what they didn't report, you know, I taught for 20 years. What they didn't report is every school in the country had low test scores last year. We've all had them since COVID. It's just the way.
Of course.
But, you know, if you go to that school and you graduate, you get a free scholarship to Akron College. And for those kids in that community, I mean, that is gigantic. I mean, that is such an impact. The amount that he's done for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America is huge. You know, the decision, quote unquote, when he went on TV and did that crap, that raised a lot of money for Boys and Girls Clubs. Like it was like $1 million. And funny story, one of the young men in the audience that day live was Donovan Mitchell watching that.
Wow.
He was at the Boys and Girls Club watching.
Huh.
Another future Cav.
Yeah. We had a
Donovan Mitchell
hater
for the players as for what they're doing on the contract side. You might mention the decision.
Mm-hmm.
He's opened the door for people to be able to join each other on different teams, make decisions for themselves, get, move a little bit easier as opposed to the owners or / governors in charge.
Player empowerment is important because without the players, there's no league.
Yeah.
If all you have is the owners, and you can't have like a subsidiary league, it doesn't work. Like look at like the USFL or the XFL or you can't have a second rate league. You can't just say, well, we're not. If you don't want to play, we're just going to get someone else. That doesn't work. You have to have the best, and these players deserve to have more power than they've had in the past. Now, I do push back a little when you get a guy like maybe Andre Drummond, who just quits on a team and just says, "Trade me or I ain't playing." That gets a little.
That's a little messed up.
You sign a contract.
We've had it happen in Dallas a few times. It hasn't always been the destination it is now.
Sure.
But
Anthony Davis. Now, I was reading about the Anthony Davis situation when he was in New Orleans. Remember, he did that.
Yeah.
What I read was he kind of wanted to do them almost a favor in a sense, or they worked it out because he was going to leave after that season anyways.
Right.
In free agency.
Yeah.
And
last season.
So he said, I can play the year out and then leave and you get nothing, or you can trade me and at least get something for me. And then they said, well, why don't you sit down then? because if we're just going to trade you, we don't want you getting hurt. And we all know Anthony Davis, you can get hurt walking off the bus.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't exactly the way it seemed like he just said, I ain't playing. It was like, he actually said, you can get something for me. Their season was not going anywhere anyways. And so it wasn't as malicious as maybe I thought it was originally.
Well, Brett always threatens to quit if we don't pay him, or it's like a weekly thing. So we're used to having to negotiate with that kind of stuff here.
Yeah, I hear you.
I want my own yacht to, drive around the ocean on.
Cash or queso only.
That's right. That's what it is to my parties. You either bring cash or you bring queso. That's
cash or queso.
So, Rock, the other way to these two guys' heart, they both love music and instruments. I definitely see it in the background, but I've seen you post stuff as well. You're a guitar player. You're you're a musician of sorts. Torque also told me to ask you about shitty guitar giveaways. So tell us about that.
He's gonna sing really bad, but he's not, folks.
Back in the day, like I used to do, because like I'm kind of like a shitty guitar player. Like I can play what I can play, but I'm not like. It's funny that you brought up musician, because although I can play like a little bit of drums and bass and guitar, I tell people all the time, like my buddy Josh, who like plays and goes out and plays live.
Josh, I've seen Josh.
Yeah, I retweet him on Twitter, on X, whatever, all the time.
Yeah.
But he can, I'll go with him to a show and I'll be like, what are you playing tonight? I don't know, whatever. And then he'll take requests and he'll just play for 2 hours. Yeah. And I always say, that's a musician.
Oh, he's
I can play a little guitar. Yeah. I can play, but I can't just hear a song, play a song.
As a non-talented, I can't touch an instrument. I picture all of you guys as musicians. Josh you're describing, it sounds like a superstar. People that can do that, that's an impressive talent.
Yeah, hanging out with Josh for me has been amazing. I met him here in Charlotte. If you've ever seen the show Entourage, the Toad, it's Toad, right?
Turtle.
Turtle. Yes. When I'm out with Josh, sometimes I'm like Turtle. Like I just get a free ride.
What up, dude?
So I get, he played a Washington Capitals game last year, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go as my sound and security?" It's like, yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, right. Exactly. It was funny because they put us in the Capitals suite during the game and stuff, and we go in there and it's all Peter Bond was actually in there and some of the executives and stuff, and they're all in nice suits and stuff. And we go in there and I got a hoodie. And Josh has a tie-dye shirt, ripped jeans, and I just hear someone go, "Oh, that's the band." That's so obvious.
You're there with the band.
So out of place.
Cool.
I'm security, sir.
What about these shitty guitar giveaways?
So I would hashtag shitty guitar.
Yeah.
And I would just put a song on Twitter, and the first person to name the song, I would just give him a momie, give him a
really
top shot moment. I used to do that quite frequently. Anything where I can get out of the house, particularly in the summer when the kids are home. Mm-hmm. So that was, it was like, because at the time, I was doing the streaming and, you make a little money here and there, Twitch would send me these crazy, not big by any means, but, checks. And so I say, hey, look, honey, we got $50. Then I'd say I'm going to go outside. I got some streaming stuff to do.
Nice.
Do a couple of shitty guitar
they're
songs.
Wait, you're getting paid? Yeah, babe, go do it.
You're right.
Whatever you got to do to make money. That's all of our lives.
And now not so much.
I saw you on YouTube going up to people, I think at Hornets games, and asking NBA fans if they'd heard an NBA Top Shot.
I at a very long time ago, I proclaimed myself the top shot man on the street. And so I went to 3 different Hornets games, 2 in 1 year and then 1 the next year. And I just went up to people randomly, asked have you ever heard of Top Shot? And the first year, not many people had heard of it at all. The second year still, I'd say it's maybe 85-15 as far as the percentage that I've heard of it. Wow. And it just shows that, it's still early, I guess you could say.
We're early. We're early. Yes. Still in beta.
The NBA tweeted out the Larry Bird Top Shot thing the other day. And
awesome.
That hasn't happened before.
Never.
And the NBA has, I don't know how many followers they have, but it's several million followers. And so things like that are very important. And then you look at the mint sizes in S4, which I think are brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you know, these small, if it does catch on, you know, I go back, I tell people all the time, like if you it's almost impossible to find, but if you go back to 80s and 90s, like tops, which I'm sure you guys collected, I know I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Those mints,
Definitely.
I mean, the reason you can still get like 5 or 6 of the best cards of that era for $1 is those mints were in the tens of millions.
Yeah.
You know?
And you get a card and you get a card. And
right. I mean, there's still packs that aren't open, but they're worthless because there's so many. But if you compare like tens of millions to 4,000,
yeah.
And some of those tens of millions cards are still somewhat valuable, but that is like even when they went crazy with 60,000 in comparison to physical trading cards and major sport, it's nothing. It's really nothing. And so, and the NBA tweeting that out the other day, I think is huge.
60,000 that people jumped on the Series 3, that was such an increase. But you look at Series 2, when we all joined, several of those people had a 20K and a 40K. You know, there's just 2 moments of the 60K split up in 2. I mean, it's the same thing as for a mint problem. I'm loving, as you mentioned, them taking a correction on the mint sizes has been such a change for Series 4. We've been talking about it like crazy.
Yeah,
excited to have you on Moment by Moment later this week to talk to you about a little bit of Series 4 and how fire that is. We're covering the clamp set. And,
little clamps, yeah.
Yeah, excited to talk to you about some more Cavs and some other things like that. So,
dude, Rockdawgy, bringing up your point of going to the games and asking people, I think it's interesting because I saw someone on X Twitter going and asking like, hey, can you name someone on the team that you're going to watch tonight? For instance, the Mavs, that's not a starting player. And like people are like, Luka, like they don't know anyone but even the star, right? People going to games. So it's kind of crazy to put it in correlation to people that know about Top Shot. There are so many NBA fans, and so many of them don't know anything about anything. But they're true NBA fans, right?
It's true.
It's true. Like I have my wife's cousin lives here in Charlotte, and she's a Cavs fan. You know, people in Cleveland are hardcore, but she's a Cavs fan. But like I have, like she'll come over and she'll be like, "So what's going on with the Cavs?" Like I have to tell her everything. So, you know, so she's like, "Are we good? Here we're good. Okay, that's awesome." You know, so Top Shot is a good way to introduce some of those casual fans, and I'm not trying to use the word casuals like it's a bad thing or anything. No. But to introduce some of those casual fans into the game, into the players that aren't the stars, because it's basketball is such a beautiful game. You know, it just really
is.
And the more you learn and kind of know what's going on, the better it really is.
Yes.
It's like any sport. When you actually dive in and you know the rules, you know what in hockey at offsides or this or that, like any of them, then all of a sudden the game's fun to watch. Then you start learning a couple players. And, you know, Top Shot's the reason I know 90% of the players' names in the NBA. Because if not, I would only know the Mavs and only know maybe one other team. That's
Yeah, and I watch a lot of NBA. I do. I get League Pass, but I would be guilty of that too. You know, I know everyone on the Cavs, including the G League, you know, all that. Or and then, you know, I wouldn't be able to go 8 deep on the Nets probably without Top Shot.
Right.
And it's not only just the collecting, it's the community. It's the talking to the other fans and meeting them and talking. Like someone's like, "Oh, Nick Claxton's at it." I'm like, "Nick Claxton, really? Let me look him up." Oh, snap! This guy's advanced stats are off the charts. Jesus, how did I not know about this guy?
Yeah, that's so true. The learning from the other folks in the community about their team, and then you end up rooting for them. We've talked about that. You find yourself rooting for these other teams.
Look, I know you're a Celtics fan. I started rooting for the Celtics a couple of years ago.
Get the hell out of here!
I'm a lifelong my first memories of basketball are my cousins teaching me Lakers versus Celtics in the finals. Nice. Larry Bird, and I'm a Magic Johnson Lakers fan. Besides Cavs, obviously, like my whole life, and just a Celtic hater. And then just through like knowing you and Bleezy, and then when they were in the final against the Warriors, and I guess I don't have anything against the Warriors anymore, but I love Jaylen Brown. I do too. Celtics team. I don't think they're going to be as good though this year without Grant Williams and without Marcus Smart.
I'm with you. I wish they would have ran it back, gave him one more shot at that. But all
right,
we'll
guys.
see what
We've
happens.
hit our 1 minute allotment for Celtics talk.
Did you see my boy? Did you see my boy Jaylen Brown played in the All-Star game, the 3-on-3 league All-Star game? Did you see that?
Nope.
The big
Blocked
three.
it out.
The big three. That's what I'm talking about. Jaylen Brown, that dude he's working to help everybody. He's a neat person.
From what I can tell, he's an amazing, just human.
Yeah, he is. He is. Well,
Good
that's what
being.
Celtics are. Amazing.
They only got one more year. I don't think they can continue the roster after this year.
Gotta make a run, baby.
This is it, I think. I think they're going to trade. They're going to have to trade one of them after this season.
I hate to hear that.
I think it's physically possible to keep them both. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't.
They're gonna shake it up.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I've never cheered for the Celtics in my life. But I did go to So Did Three Ball, met up Retreaticus in Dallas and watched the playoff game.
Yes.
And cheered. And they ended up winning that game.
The Derek White shot from Heard Around the World.
Nice.
That's right. I've never high-fived for a Celtics win in my life.
I think
but I did.
I think Three Balls, your butt still hurt from me smacking it when that ball went in.
That was pregame, but man, that was so much fun that we were able to be together for that, and just an example of what we're talking about. Of we live in Dallas, Texas. We're not going to be fans of the Celtics, but because of our fandom and Top Shot set holders, as well as friends with Treaticus, we're in there watching and high fiving or getting our asses slapped when they get a W.
Yeah, I actually, because I was streaming with Boards to Buckets, and Jay Destiny, a guy named Jay Destiny, was streaming on there. Yeah, and he's here in Charlotte, and he co-runs the Hive community.
Oh,
and so just by streaming with him on Boards to Buckets, then he said, "Hey, you want to come to a game with us? I got a free ticket for you." And so I went to the game with them. I met a lot of people, and then had another little party for the draft party because since we were so bad this year, the draft was like our big thing. So I met the Hive up at the draft party, and these are some good people, man. So it's not just on Twitter and online. These real life connections matter too.
They really do.
Well, the communities online lead to the in real life meetups and things like you're mentioning. You mentioned being at home and needing those connections, and then you start online and you DM Torque and us and C&C, and you're putting yourself out there with Playback and doing a great job with the Hive, Boards to Buckets, and really just following sports, all different types of sports. Love to see you doing baseball and covering you're a man of all sports. I love it.
One thing I wish is that that Playback did NFL, but we'll see.
Who's your squad? Are you Bengals? Are you
Browns?
Browns. Okay,
Browns.
I should have guessed with the Guardians and the Cavs that you were at Cleveland all the way.
Here's an example of how bad the Browns are. I've gone to Vegas now. I think this will be my 21st or 22nd year. I meet my brother and my dad and my best friend. They all still live in Cleveland. And so we meet in Vegas for the opening weekend of the NFL season.
Yeah.
Nice.
And every single year, I bet the Browns money line $50 to win. In other words, without the point spread, I bet the Browns to win opening day. My record the last 20 years is 21 years is 1-19-1. And the victory came last year.
Wow.
Up until last year, I was 0-19-1 on betting that opening week Browns game. They tied the Steelers once. That's the one. So that's an example of my wife says it's like an abusive relationship. I just keep coming back for more punishment.
Yeah, I don't know when else I'm going to get a chance to talk Cleveland Browns football, so I will go ahead and go. I just read Moneyball, and Paul DePodesta's on my mind. Baseball career, worked his way into GM spots through baseball, but then now has the Cleveland Browns and is in charge of that front office, Wheeling and dealing, and just got Deshaun Watson off the market. So you guys have a big future ahead of you. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. That's, by the way, what a great book. I highly recommend that to anyone who likes.
Oh,
You don't even have to really love sports or baseball because it's Michael Lewis. He's such a good writer.
Yeah.
The movie is phenomenal too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the book is it's just so good, and it's so short. It's an easy read.
The movie hooked me first, and I loved that. And then read the book. I love Michael Lewis. He's one of my favorite authors. I love to hear you talk so highly of it. So
Bringing Down the House is an amazing book.
Okay,
the Blackjack one. Have you ever read that one?
Mm-mm. I thought that was a song.
They made a movie of it called 21. The movie's awful.
Oh,
but
okay. I've seen the movie. I didn't know that's
Kevin
what that was about.
Spade or
Kevin
the book,
Spacey.
The
Kevin
book,
Spacey.
yes, the Kevin Spacey movie.
Yeah.
The book goes into explaining exactly how the movie doesn't really explain how the system works that they use.
Okay.
The book goes in detail explaining that system, and it's so genius in its simplicity that it's just really it's amazing. And then the movie took a lot of liberties.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Short. Right, they always do. The Big Short was my favorite that I read of his, and then I haven't
read that one. I know that I need to, and I haven't.
I happened to watch that movie literally a day or two ago in the presence of Treaticus.
We watched it. Yep.
Nice.
Full circle. I love it.
Whole family day of movie watching.
It was
you
amazing.
guys, man, Rockdawgy, this has been fantastic, dude. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us and hanging out.
Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure. I love chatting with you guys. Anytime, just let me know.
Sweet.
All right, 10 minutes from now.
Let's just do it again.
Saturday at 10 a.m. Sunday at 4:30 p.m. I'm putting my appointments now.
I'm putting in my phone. Hang on.
King Brett, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Treaticus, my man.
Yes, sir.
Love all you guys. Rockdawgy, appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you so much. This was great. Episode 12, Collectin and Connectin Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Peace, man, Rockdawgy.
Peace.